Welcome back everyone, it's Jeremy Disc Golf here, bringing you my in the bag for the 2021 season. So starting off with my distance drivers, my go-to this season is going to be the Wraith, in which I currently bag 3. All from different stabilities, from understable to more stable. Starting off with the more stable, I have the brand new Halo Wraith, which has been in my bag now for the last probably about 3 or 4 months. This one is a relatively new one to the bag. I have currently 4 of these currently, and these fly like a broken in destroyer. Nice and straight with a little bit of turn and a predictable finish at the end. This with a lovely pop top tends to be a little bit more stable than some of the other Wraiths that I have, hence why it makes the bag. The next one again is a Halo Wraith with a ghost stamp. All these are max weight, and for me this is what a Wraith should be. Again, that nice bit of turn with a little bit of finish, but not as heavy as the first one, hence why this also makes the bag. So the next one is my Star Wraith that has been in my bag for the last year or so, and as you would sort of predict, it's now nice and broken in. This is what you would expect a Wraith to be, nice and understable, especially for a power thrower like myself. So next in my distance drivers, I have a Halo Destroyer. Currently have 1 in the bag, but I normally bag 2. This is for when the wind is up. This is a meat hook. For anyone that's thrown Halo Destroyers will know that this is probably the most overstable one that I've done for quite some time, hence why it makes the bag. So if the wind is up, or if I want to flex a shot, this will be the disc I will be throwing. The last distance driver I have is going to be my roller disc, and it's going to be the Westside Disc Sorcerer. And this is a 13 speed 602. But weirdly, it's the most understable driver that I have in my bag. I will throw this on the flat and it will get over to get onto the roller. When I first bought this, I didn't think this would make the bag because it was understable, but now it's made a use of being my roller disc. So next I'll go to my hybrid drivers, sort of 9-10 speeds. I'll start off with my PDs. I currently bag 2, and these are your Dark Maul 2s. The reason why again I bag 2, you will see a theme coming on into my bag. I will bag multiple of the same mold, allowing me to have different wears but the same consistent feel in my hand. So first off, starting with the most stable, is this brand new Dark Maul 2. This is what you would expect a PD to be. Very little glide, very straight with a nice predictable finish at the end, and that's what it is intended for. Next is my broken in Dark Maul 2. I've had it now for about a year. I've hit many trees with this one, and it's now becoming like a longer version of my Eagle. So I'm able to pump this out to 120 meters, nice and straight, with a little bit of finish still at the end, and it's slowly starting to have a little bit turn to it as well. To combat the Dark Mauls being the overstable range, I currently bag this Discraft Vulture, a broken in ESP version. This complements the PD really nicely because it feels very similar in terms of the rim, but being the Vulture and a broken in version, it has a more understable finish. So I have that nice turn before coming back slightly, and for that it makes my bag. Once I've broken that orange Dark Maul 2, it will then take over this slot, but for the time being, it's in my bag. Next in the 9 speeds is my very overstable. So starting off with my workhorse, and it's the Westside RT Beef Stamp. I use this for any overstable shots, scramble shots, or whatever it may be. This is definitely my go-to. Flat top, Pearly Champion Firebird, 12-time Ken Climo. This is very overstable. If it wasn't for the tilt, I'll probably say this is one of the most overstable discs I have ever thrown. And for that, this probably won't be used an awful lot, but when I do need to get out of trouble, or if the wind is up, then this will be a disc that I'll be relying on a lot. Again, keeping with my theme, I tend to bag multiple, so we're going on now onto the fairway drivers, and I'll start off again with the more sort of stable versions. So first off, I have the Champion Eagle. Starting from the most stable is going to be this tie-dye Champion Eagle. This is a disc I've only had now for the last 4 months in my bag, but it has become a staple. This is a straight with a little finish at the end, and at the moment, even though it's hit many trees, it's stayed consistently in the flight. It's a nice firm champion plastic, and I hope it stays that way for a lot longer. And this one is a bit more gummy than the first one, and a little bit more understable as well. This has been in my bag a little bit longer, hence the understability, because I've used it quite a lot, but still very predictable and very usable, especially in the wind. The next two is going to be my Night Strike 2s. This is a disc that I fell in love with about a year ago, and for that reason I went out and bought 8 of these in total. So currently I bagged 2 of them. From again, more stable is this brand new Night Strike 2. This will be for any time I want a tunnel shot with maybe a little bit of finish, but still that nice turn to the right that the FD gives you. This will be the one. And this one is a broken in Night Strike 2. I've had this now for probably just shy of a year. Before, it was in the possession of Noah Smithson, so thanks for hooking me up. Dead straight for 90, 100 meters, and then it tends to finish straight most of the time. For any sort of turnover fairway driver shots, this will be the one I'll be using for the 21 season. Next is something that's very similar to the Night Strike 2, especially in the feel, and it's the Royal Rage FD2. Now, you would think this would be more overstable than Night Strike 2, but you would be right in thinking that, but it is not. This is broken in, but it's broken in differently than the Night Strike 2s. It's now just very understable. For that, normally I wouldn't be bagging this because I am predominantly a backhand player, but as I'm trying to get my forehand to be more serviceable, this has been my forehand disc because it's nice and flat. Where it's a little bit more unstable than some of my other discs, I'm able to put it on a hyzer, it's able to flip to flat and carry a little bit longer than say some of my other discs. Moving on to my mid-ranges, arguably I have 3. Some people would probably argue that I have 6. Well, I'll get to that in a sec. Again, starting off with my most stable. Now this is a disc I probably will be changing over the next few months. I haven't tested this motor in the wind yet to see if it keeps its stability. So this motor is the first run motor. Very overstable, especially now in this calm conditions, but as I just mentioned, in the wind, it will be a test to what it can do for me. The next is a Buzz. Everyone from beginners to professionals should have a disc like the Buzz in their bag. This is currently the Page Pierce Swirl. This is an incredible disc, my workhorse for the last year, and will be for some time yet. And again, guys, I recommend for any discs that you find that suits you, buy multiple. Get 2 or 3, get backups, because if I was to lose this disc tomorrow, I thankfully have 2 others that I can replace it with, and multiple other buzzers that I can do so as well. But this Page Pierce, anything for up to 100 meters will be my go-to. It's a nice straight flyer, maybe with a little bit of finish or a little bit of turn, but for most part, a straight flyer. But next, again, thanks Noah Smithson to get me onto these discs. This is a flat top KC Pro Rock. It's a nice straight flying mid-range with a lovely slow turn to the right. So for any wooded shots, this is perfect for that condition, and that's why it stays in my bag at all times. Moving on to my approach discs, I have currently 4 in total, starting again with the most stable, which is the 300 plastic A2. This is a flat top, overstable beast. For anything from up to 60 meters and I want to have that predictable finish or the wind is up, this is my go-to. Anyone that hasn't thrown a Prodigy disc, that hasn't thrown 300 plastic, they need to. This feels super tacky, super grippy, and for when you want it to finish left, it's gonna finish left. And yeah, this is a staple in my bag. The next comes to no surprise to most people that do know me, and it's going to be the Jawbreaker Zone. The Jawbreaker Zone has been a staple in my bag for the last year, and will be for some time yet. I don't throw any other versions of the Zone because of the feel of the plastic. For me, for putter throws, short approaches, I prefer the tack of the Jawbreaker I don't have any premium plastic putters for that very reason. So again, starting with the stability, I've got this relatively new Jawbreaker Zone flat top, and it has that nice little bit of finish, very overstable, very predictable, especially in the wind. For any sort of flick shots, backhand shots, this will be the one I'll go to. The next is one that I'm working to be a bit more understable to get it to my other one. This I bought about a month ago, and it's nice and broken in, but yet I can break it in further. So that's my aim, to break this in further. At the moment it's a nice straight flyer, maybe with a little finish at the end, but currently nice and straight. My next is a disc that you may have seen me throw many times in my videos, and this is the Slowmez Jawbreaker Zone I've had for the last 18 months. This is one of my go-to discs. I would probably go as far as saying I threw this more times than any other disc in my bag in the 2020 season. For the use of this Jawbreaker Zone, it's for any short approaches that I want to stick to the green, or if I want to power on this shot and have that nice turn, maybe shape shots in the woods, then this will be my disc. I'm also using this for anything outside circle for putting, because it has that nice predictable finish and nice glide currently. So for my utility disc, I've got the Sol Ace Race. This will always be my bag. Probably won't be used often at all, maybe once or twice around, if that. And it's for any time I want to have a maybe a short roller or a disc that I need to go right very quickly if I'm scrambling or anything like that. This will be the one. So on to my putters. Now I mentioned the other day, this is something I've been fighting with for the last 2 years, and finally I have found that I feel the putter for me. One of the main reasons why I picked this putter is because of the feel. It's a very tacky plastic, very grippy, and it sits nicely with this nice little rim underneath there where I can put my finger for any putting. It allows me to have that control and a consistent pop. The putter in question is a Podgely PA1 in 300 plastic. And for me, the 300 plastic is probably the best plastic you can have for putters. It's nice and firm, so you're able to get that pop, but it's got that tack and grippiness that you need for all weathers. I was putting with these the other day in the lovely British weather, in nice windy and wet conditions, and these held up really nicely. And the last reason why I picked the PA1 is because of the lack of glide that this disc has. One of the biggest things I've had in my disc golf career was putting in any wind, any headwind, tailwind, or whatever it may be. Because of that, I have found myself losing strokes just by overshooting the basket and having a longer comeback and then taking inevitably a bogey or worse. So for me, this being a very overstable and less glidey putter, it sort of suits my style, so I'm able to attack the basket more, knowing that if I do go past the basket, if I miss it completely, I'm not going to go too far and I'm going to be hitting par rather than hitting bogey or worse, so inevitably save me strokes. And to help me with my putting is going to be my marker. This marker is quite a funny one. It's don't be a pussy. But for me, putting that down on the ground, anything inside 33 feet, in my mind, it reminds me that I'm going to go for the basket and I'm going to make sure it hits chains. So for my bag for the 21 season, it's going to be the Latitude 64 E3 Socky Bomb edition. This bag has been now used for the last year and it's still going strong, no visible tears or anything else, and it has enough storage for even more discs than I have now and many more. At the top, I've got my usual towels, raincoats, it's got an umbrella holder, place for your snacks, and even a place for your mobile phone and your headphones or whatever it may be on the side. So that is my in the bag for the 21 season, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Comment below what is going to be your go-to disc for this season. For all of your disc golf needs, visit www.acediscgolf.co.uk. The code is in the link below. You'll get 5% off and it helps support me, this channel, and all the Team Ace members for the 21 season. Like and subscribe as usual, and until next time guys, stay safe and I'll see you on the course 29th of March.